The Balance is one of the newest smartwatches from Amazfit in their lifestyle series. In this video, I'm going to go over the design, show you the new features, discuss what's changed from the GTR 4 and the Cheetah Amazfit watches, and I'll also cover the fitness features and the smartwatch features of the Amazfit Balance. I feel like the Balance should have been called the GTR 5 because it feels like the successor to the GTR 4, which was a great watch, but Amazfit came up with their own name. They didn't consult me on that. I always forget to mention this, but I did buy this, and the review is based on my usage of the watch and everything I could steal off the internet. Not to spoil anything, but I think this is a great watch and a great value. But stay tuned for the details and see if this watch is right for you. So thank you to my subscribers and returning viewers. I really appreciate the support. So let's get into the description of this thing. The Balance is made out of aluminum alloy middle frame and a fiber-reinforced polymer back shell. It actually feels really premium. The only thing that doesn't feel premium about it is that it is very light, super light actually, and it weighs only 35 grams without the strap. So if you equate heaviness with quality, then you might be missing out on this one. The Balance does come in one size, and it initially came in just two colors. As you can see, there's two different straps. The Midnight version comes with a liquid silicone traditional buckle band, and the Sunset Gray, which is the one I have, comes with a nylon fabric band, which is more adjustable, and I just like it more. But just recently, Amazfit released special edition colors. Amazfit says they will donate money from each sale to help plant trees. And there's 4 different colors there, and again, they still have the traditional buckle bands. If you don't like the bands or you get tired of them after a while, you could easily replace them with any standard 22mm band, which is great that Amazfit almost always does. It's just a quick release here, just like any other one. Pop that out, put any new band in there. So the Amazfit does have a microphone over here on the right side, and then on the left side, we got the speaker, and I'll talk more about those later. It does have the 2 buttons here. This is just a standalone button that one function, just push it once. And then you got the crown up here, which rotates, which is great. It makes it very easy to cycle through your menus, and it does vibrate as you move it. And if you don't like that, you could turn that off. I'm basically just going to discuss all the options and all the things you can do with this, but I'm not going to show you how to do all that because I tried to do it and it just took way too long. So I'll have another video where I show you how to customize everything on the watch, and I'll also show you how to do it on the phone. Some things you could do on the phone, some things you have to do on the watch. I also usually forget to mention this, but all Amazfit products can be used with Android and Apple phones. Okay, let's talk about the display. This is a 1.5-inch AMOLED display here. It has anti-glare lens and anti-fingerprint screen. The resolution is 480 by 480 with a PPI of 323, and the brightness has increased to 1500 nits. So what does that mean? Basically, it's a great looking display. The colors are very vibrant. It gets super bright, very easy to see, even in direct sunlight. The resolution is great. Even fine print is very easy to read on this thing. And the 1.5-inch display is one of the bigger displays you can get on a smartwatch. Now, big con though, the front glass is still made out of tempered glass. And I keep knocking Amazfit on all the products that they have. Almost all of them are tempered glass, which is, again, not the most durable. If you're hard on the watch, or even if you're not, I would recommend getting a screen protector on this thing. Sometimes it's hard to find one that actually works and fits well and goes on there well, but I did find one, and I will leave a link in the description if you're interested in that. It's just a couple of bucks, and you get 3 of them, so if you screw up, it's okay. A new feature for the Amazfit Balance is the app display. So if you click on here, you got all the displays kind of listed out in an Apple-esque kind of way, right? And then you can also just change the magnification on here just by rotating the crown, which is kind of great. Now, the only thing is, if you don't know what all these icons mean, it might be a little tedious for you to find out exactly what you're looking for. So if you didn't like that grid layout, very easy to change it to an app list. I'm not going to show you how to do all this in this video just because it will take too long, but I will go ahead and have a full customization video on this. But you can see all the apps here. You have all the basics, your stopwatch, your timer, your world clock, Find My Phone, calendar, it syncs with Google. You can see everything that's in here. I'll just show you, go through all of them so you can see what's available. Now, there are no third-party apps available. So those apps that you see there, basically what you're going to get. The Zep app does have some apps, and they have increased them, and they become a little more useful, but not that useful, I don't think. And there's no Spotify, there's no YouTube Music. You can't download apps from the Google Play or the Apple Store. Now, since it does have an AMOLED display here, it also has an always-on display, which you could actually schedule. Just pick which time you want it to start and end. You could have the watch do it. So basically, the watch will turn it off when it knows you're sleeping, because obviously you don't need it then. And there's some different options with the always-on display. I'll just show you those quick. And again, I'm not going to show you how to get to all these things, but basically you get to the always-on display menu here, and you could either turn it on, the always-on display, and it will follow the watch. So if you have a little, watch here with the digital time in the middle, all the little informations that are around there usually disappear, and then you're just left with the little timer in the middle. But you could also pick your always-on display style. So you can click on this here, and then these are all the styles that are available. I think there's 6 here that are available. So these are the ones that you can pick. I'll try to go through these slowly so you can just see what's available. Now, even if you have a analog watch face, you could have this as your always on display. So that's kind of cool that you can actually change them and pick what you want there. That's kind of a nice feature that Amazfit offers. Okay, I'm going to turn the lights down here for a minute and just get serious. I'm going to ask you to consider subscribing now. And I know we just met. You kind of just want to see how the video goes and see if this is useful or not. I know. And I know you've been burnt in the past by subscribing too early, and the channel that you subscribe to changed their content, or they added a bunch of ads, or all that kind of stuff. Well, that won't happen to me unless I make it very big. Then all bets are off. But please consider subscribing. I'd appreciate it. And if you're a little, afraid of commitment, you're a little gun shy here, then how about a like? I'd really appreciate that. That would help me out with YouTube. Maybe if the like is too much, then maybe some kind words in the comments section. I'll leave it to you, but please consider it. It really does help me a lot. Let me get back to the video now. Okay, so now I'm going to show you some basic navigation of this watch. Now, I was going to show you how to customize all this stuff as I did it, but again, it was just too much. So I'm just going to do the quick navigation so you see what's available before you buy it and see if this thing is for you. So if you swipe down from the top, this is the quick toggles. And this is kind of standard here, all the basic stuff, flashlight, find my phone, airplane mode, theater mode, do not disturb, all that kind of stuff. And then you have two screens that you can fill here real easy. And you could actually adjust these. You could add them, subtract them, move them around, do all that stuff right on the watch. Now, if you swipe up, you get your notifications. Now, just to warn you, photos don't come through on the text. I'm not sure why, but they don't, and not all the emojis do. They've increased the amount of emojis that come through here, but a lot of times they still come up just as a square. That's not a you issue. That's, you're doing everything right. It's just the software or what it's able to handle right now. Now, if you swipe over here to the left, we get our widgets right here, and I'll just show you what's available. If you just go like this. So these are the widgets I have here. Then if you hit add, just show you what's available here. So they have added actually a lot of widgets on here, and they actually made them actually look pretty nice and pretty modern. So they've come a long way here. And you can see all these you could add to your widget selection. All right, we're almost done here. There we go. Now, the only thing I don't like is when you try to get into your widgets, I feel like you should be able to scroll through here and go through the widgets, but that doesn't work. So I'm not sure why, but that's the way it is. Then you got your shortcuts over here. You swipe over here, and this is your shortcuts. This is kind of like your daily information toggles that you can go through, and you could customize this. You could see what I have here, and I'll just go down to the bottom to show you what's available. If you hit the settings here, the ones that are minus there are the ones that are there. And then if we keep going, this is all the ones that you could add. So you actually have a lot of information right at your fingertips if you want. And this is accessible just, again, swiping over to the right just once. So you just swipe over here, and then you'd get access to all that. Now, if you're on your home screen and you press the crown button here, you go to your apps. And again, it could be the grid or this list pattern that you have. If you push and hold, that is set to go to Alexa. And that you can change and customize that if you'd like. The bottom button here, again, you can customize, but by default, it's set to take you right to your workouts. So there you go. And you can scroll through these really easy. So this crown really makes it nice and easy to navigate through everything. If you want to go back to the home screen and you're on anything other than the home screen, then you just hit the top button here, and then we go right to back there. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of specs here. Now, I looked and I couldn't find it. If you can, leave it in the comments, but I couldn't find the chip that's being used or the amount of RAM that's being used. Again, probably because it's not all that impressive, but I only had one issue, and that was when I was setting up the Amazfit BIP 5 just a little while ago, and it started only on the initial setup. And again, it could have been downloading the software and just glitching right there. But otherwise, I've never had an issue with the Amazfit products. Everything scrolls very quickly, no problems at all going through here, no stutters or anything like that. So whatever RAM or chip they're using, it's matched well to the software, and it works very good. The watch is waterproof to 5 atmospheres, and it does have a pool and open water swimming on the exercises, so have at it if you'd like. You can store music on the watch, which is great, and 2.2 gigabytes worth of music. It does have Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, but it has Bluetooth 5.0, which is weird. It's not the latest. I'm not sure why that is, if they're trying to save a couple of bucks or something. Not sure. Okay, so let's talk about the battery here. The battery does get a bump up from the Cheetah, which was 440 milliamp hours, and on the Balance is 475 milliamp hours, which is the same as the GTR 4. So I was a little disappointed with the battery life on this. You can let me know what kind of battery life you got with this. But for heavy use, Amazfit says you get 7 days. I got like 4 days. I was definitely going through 25% a day with heavy use. That's with the always-on display on. That's with sleeping with it at night and doing the sleep tracking. That's with the heart rate on every minute, the SpO2, the stress monitoring on, the auto brightness was on. I had the offline assistant enabled. And that was with about, on average, about 45 minutes of GPS every day. And again, that might vary depending on how many notifications you get, how many times you flipping your wrist and looking at the display, how many times you're playing and interacting with the watch. All that stuff will change your batteries. But again, for me, it was about 4 days. So not terrific. So regular use, Amazfit says you get 14 days, but I average about 10 to 14% a day. So it was more like 7 to 10 days, good, but not great, and not as good as Amazfit says, and which was pretty similar to what I got on the GTR 4 and the Cheetah watches. So if you put it in battery saving mode, you get 25 days per Amazfit. I didn't test this out, but it automatically turns off all your health metrics. And then there's also clock mode, which is just a clock mode for 50 days. That's up to you if you want it. Now, the charging takes about 2 hours, and the bad news is you still need a proprietary cable, and this one is different than the previous Amazfit products, and it almost looks like they're trying to get close to the wireless, with this little cup here, but it would have been nice to have wireless charging. Then you could just charge the watch with your phone or, other devices, and you don't have to bring around a proprietary charger with you, which kind of stinks. Another great thing about Amazfit is they do have a battery manager, so I'll get into more details on this on the customization video, but if you get into here and just scroll through here, it'll tell you what is killing your battery, and you can see what it's using here, and if you're not using it for sleep monitoring, go ahead and turn it off. If you don't need the sleep breathing quality, turn it off, and that will just save you battery. And then if you go into here, you could change the frequency of these things. So your heart rate, that's a big one. You can change the frequency on it. The screen on duration, you can change it, and you can change it right from here, which is great. And then you could look here, what's actually eating your battery? Well, you're waking up to looking at the watch 1,000 times, and you're doing this and you're doing that, and that's what's killing your battery. And you can make some modifications as you need to. So let's talk about sensors on this. The Amazfit Balance has a GPS sensor on there, and Amazfit says that the GPS positioning is 99.5% accurate. They claim that their GPS antenna can pick up almost 100% of satellite signals, and it does use 6 satellite positioning system, which, in case you don't know, that's a lot. The GPS map and distances on my bike rides and routes have been very accurate for me, and comparing it to other watches, no issues with that at all. But I don't have a lot of tall buildings around me. So if you have this watch and you have any kind of experience with the GPS, good or bad, let me know in the comments. Now, a cool thing about a lot of Amazfit products is that the GPS you can customize, which is great. And I'll just show you this. You could do this on the watch, but I just wanted to show you so you could see it pretty clearly here. You can make it a GPS very accurate, and it uses more battery, obviously. You can put it into the power saving, which will save some battery, but not be quite as accurate. You could automate it, and then you could also customize it. I just left it in the auto here, and that seemed to work for me. Now, this is a great feature, but I didn't notice a tremendous difference between the accuracy and the power saving with the accuracy of the GPS or with the actual battery life. But you could leave it in the comments and let me know if you found a big difference. So the Balance comes with the newest Biosensor, which is the 5.0, which is an improved version of the GTR 4 and the Cheetah watches. And this gives you the 24-hour monitoring of the heart rate, the SpO2, the stress levels, and it can detect breathing. I thought all these measurements were very accurate compared with other watches. Now keep in mind, the accuracy of these measurements will vary based on a lot of factors, based on your physical characteristics, how you're wearing the watch, where you're wearing it on your wrist, how tight you're wearing it, all those things. So if you had any issues with the accuracy, please leave it in the comments. But it also does have a high and low heart rate alerts. It has a low SpO2 warning if you enable it. It also detects abnormal stress levels, and if it does detect that, it will give you some breathing exercises to help you relax. The other thing it has is a one-tap measurement, which is great because then it will actually measure your heart rate, your stress, your SpO2, and your breathing rate all in one shot. And this takes 45 seconds, so you can have those off, and then you can manually just toggle those throughout the day if you'd like. NFC was added to the Amazfit Balance, and mobile payments are possible, but it's not available in very many countries yet. And it's not available in the United States, so I was unable to test it. Again, if you have some experience with it, please let us know in the comments. It still has the auto dimming feature with the ambient light sensor, and for previous Amazfit products, actually the auto dimmer, as you know if you watched any of my videos, I felt like it was too aggressive, and it was always keeping the screen way too dim, and so I usually had to turn it off and just manually set my brightness. So the good news, I feel like they fixed that on the Balance, and basically I have it on the auto mode all the time, and I feel like the brightness is actually right in every lighting situation so far, so I have no issues with that, and I feel like they did a much better job on the Balance with that. It also does have a barometer, a geometric sensor, it has a gyroscope, and it has a new temperature sensor, and more on that later. Another great feature that Amazfit added to the Balance was the bioelectric impedance analysis, so BIA. And this measures a bunch of things, actually. It measures the body fat, your skeletal muscle, your water, your bone mass, your protein, your BMI, and your basal metabolism. Amazfit says that it's only measuring your upper body composition, but I think all the other watches do that as well, and they just don't tell you that. So all you need to do to measure that is wear the watch. You just put your 2 fingers on these 2 buttons here, and about 30 seconds or so it will give you the readings. Now, if you can find it, you could pair this with the Amazfit Body Composition Analyzer Mat, and that measures your lower body. Between the two of them, you'll have a more accurate body composition analysis. So let's talk about sleep tracking. The Amazfit Balance tracks light sleep, deep sleep, REM, or wake times. It also tracks naps, but I was only able to test that a few times. The sleep tracking seemed to be very accurate and correlated with the other watches I had. The only thing is the sleep score seemed a little optimistic. Sometimes Amazfit detected that I was up a couple of times or had a short sleep, but the sleep score was actually pretty good. So I'm not sure what algorithm they used for that, but again, that was just a little high, but otherwise everything else seemed pretty accurate about it. Now, with the Amazfit Balance, another feature they added is you get a Readiness score. You could also get Readiness Insight, but that requires a subscription. So this is the Readiness score, and it gives you this every morning. And you can click through here, and it gives you a couple of different things here. And, this is, based on your resting heart rate during sleep, your heart rate variation during sleep. And it gives you, your breathing quality, your temperature, all that kind of stuff. And then if you click on this, it will actually break it down even further if you want. Now, I don't know what you really do with this. If you have a crappy readiness score, are you not supposed to use the forklift that day? Or are you supposed to cancel the important meeting you had scheduled with your boss? I don't know. I think it's more for big picture analysis, like if you're trying to make changes about getting to sleep better, or about, maybe drinking a little less before bed, or, whatever you're trying to do. And then, maybe you get better quality sleep and then your readiness score goes up. You're kind of looking at long-term changes, not just kind of day-to-day changes, I think. I think that's what it's more useful for. Okay, another great premium feature that's on the Amazfit Balance is that you can store offline maps on this, and you can import routes with the GPX files. And now, getting the GPX file to your phone is sometimes requires a little effort, but once you do that, then you could share it with your Zep app very easily, and then it transfers to the watch with no problem at all. Again, I'll show you more about that on the customization video. You could also connect or pair your buds with the watch, and you can store music on the watch. So basically, that means you could just take this and go for a workout, and you can leave your phone at home, but just keep in mind then you won't get any notifications, and you won't be able to make any phone calls with this because there is no LTE version on this. You could also pair accessories like a heart rate strap on here if you want, but that's through Bluetooth. Now let's talk about that premium feature of the temperature sensor. It's not super accurate, and Amazfit obviously says it's not to be used as a medical device. Don't think you're going to be finding, I'm getting an early fever or something like that. That's not really what it's designed for. I mean, I took a temperature reading and it was like 80. But basically, they're using it to help you with sleep tracking. It gives you better information on that. And then also helps with female cycle tracking. But it's a great feature that they even have it on there. I don't know if they'll ever get it right where, it gives your exact temperature reading. So there's also a button feature on the watch. So basically, you only need to use these two buttons to control everything on the watch. You don't need to swipe the screen at all. And that's a great feature, if your hands are all sweaty or if you have to wear gloves or something like that. You also get a Zep AI coach on this thing. So it generates plans based on your current levels, and you could put in what your goals are. It also will register your previous history if you have other Amazfit products. If you're doing good, increase your intensity and your time of workouts and things like that. And then if you're not working out as much, it will kind of try to keep pace with you a little bit and give you some encouragement and try to make you feel like not a complete failure. But it also does track your VO2 max, your training load, your training effect, and recovery time. And again, this is not available on a lot of watches, so it's actually a pretty feature-packed watch here. And I'll get into more of the workout features in just a bit. Now, it also has a morning update, and I'm just showing you this on the phone so you can see it a little easier. Every morning you get a text, and it'll give you all this information here that you can see. And you can adjust these if you want, so you can only get the weather in the morning or just, the battery life or whatever you want. And if you don't like this, you can just toggle it off, but it does give you some relevant information first thing when you wake up. Okay, and as I said before, there is a microphone over here, and there is the speaker over here, so you can make and take phone calls with this. And I thought the speaker was very loud. I was able to hear the person very well. I thought the mic sounded okay. I mean, it sounded just maybe a little echoey, kind of like you were on a speakerphone, but not bad at all. I thought the speaker and the mic quality were very good on this. Okay, so let me just show you what it looks like actually getting a phone call on this thing. So, great thing is, your phone's in your pocket or your bag or something like that. You can just go ahead and answer it and talk right on the watch, which is great. You could end the call right here, or you could also just mute it. Now, the other great thing is you could swipe up, and then you can go through your canned text messages and send them a text. Say, I'm busy right now, I'm driving, I'll call you later, or whatever. I think that's a really great feature that not every watch has. So as of this video, if you do get a text from somebody, the only way you can respond back is with your preset text. Now, you could add as many as you want of those. You could edit them and, say whatever you want with those. So that's great. But there's no keyboard on here. There's no speech-to-text function or anything like that. So basically, you just have to go through your pre-made text and send it back to them. Also, keep in mind with the text, no photos come through and some emojis don't make it through. So let's talk about the assistants here. You do get Amazon's Alexa built in on this. And it's not available in every country. And you do need to link your Amazon account with the Zep app, but it works great, and it's great if your hands are, not free or something like that. You could set a timer or add an event to a calendar or set an alarm or anything like that, but there is no wake-up word. So you could either activate it by long pressing this key here, or you could have it on your shortcut cards here, and you could tap that. A wake-up word would be nice on this, but, that would also drain some more battery, so take it or leave it, that's how it is. So another assistant that doesn't get too much credit here is the Amazfit offline assistant that they have here. So you don't need to be connected to anything. It actually controls a bunch of functions. So just to give you an example, start outdoor running. So, and there's a bunch of features like that. Let me just show you quickly what they are. And this is just easier to show on the phone. So let me just show you here. I'll click on this, and you can see these are some of the apps and commands that you can use. But, kind of a couple of quick things that you might have need quick access to, which is great. Then also you can scroll up here, you get a little bit more. These are things that you can do. There's also some music controls on here. And then there's a little widget thing here that we could open up. That's all you get on these. But again, a lot of different features that you could use. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about workouts. I mean, a lot of people buy this watch for the fitness features on here. So it tracks 150 plus sport modes, which obviously is just ridiculous. Nobody's ever going to use that many. But if you go here, I mean, you could just cycle through all these that you have. And then if you go down here, there's even more workouts. And then each one of these, you can see the 7 workouts in running and walking, the cycling, the swimming, outdoor workouts, dance, combat workouts, basically everything. So I'm not going to go through all these, but there's a lot that you could use here. And then if there's one, if there's a dance one that you use all the time, then you don't need to go through the sub-menus here. You could just put this onto your workouts right here, and you could actually move it right up to the top if you wanted to, so it has quick access for you. I'll show you how to do that again on the customization video that I'll go through. Amazfit also detects 8 workout modes automatically. So if you're just wearing your watch and you just start doing something, it will pick it up. And the 8 workout modes are treadmill, outdoor running, elliptical, outdoor cycling, walking, indoor walking, rowing machine, and pool swimming. So the Amazfit Balance will actually automatically detect 25 different strength exercises. So basically you have to put in a strength training. That's what the mode you need on this. And then you just do your workout. And then it will keep track of the sets, the reps, the rest time. You could input the weight on there. It's not 100% accurate. Obviously, this probably varies person to person. If you are the kind of person that does write down all your workouts and weights and amounts and stuff like that, you could have it done automatically in the watch, and then when you get home, you could just kind of edit a couple of things. So let me just show you what that looks like quickly. Okay, so I'm just scrolling again right to the page that we're looking at here. It does keep your heart rate zones and all that kind of stuff, and it does give you a lot of information on the top here. But I just wanted to show you this, and it does show you the muscles that it thinks you worked out. And again, sometimes it's close, sometimes it's not. So these are all the workout sets that you did. The count is actually almost 100%, or very close, honestly. Then the weight you're inputting, so you're going to change that, and then it's keeping the time of everything. If you scroll over here, it'll also give you a heart rate for that particular set that you're doing. So then if you didn't do knee touch sit-ups, then you just kind of click on this little edit button here, and then click it. And now you could pick whichever workout that you're actually doing. Kind of a great feature if you are the kind of that writes everything down. For the Balance, Amazfit put 200 plus watch faces on there. Maybe half are free and half are paid, and the paid are about $1 or $2. But you can see it has a lot of different options. And if you scroll here, each category has, if you hit more here, it will open up some more faces. And, there's a good variation on here, so there's definitely several I'm sure that you would find that you like. And if you get tired of a watch face, you can, scroll through them and find some different ones on here. Most of these are not modifiable, so you can't really change any of the complications or anything like that. But sometimes it will give you one complication that you can change. You could actually also put your photo on here and have it like that. I'll show you how to do that on a customization video. It's not very hard, but I'll just walk you through it if you need help with that. So, who is this watch for? Well, I think it's a great watch. It has great fitness tracking features. It has a lot of kind of higher end features here. It has a great smartwatch features, and it has a good battery life. I wish maybe it was a little better, but even 7-10 days of regular use is still much better than a lot of other competitors out there. And the price point on this is $229 in the US. That's a fairly good price point. To get more features on this, you definitely have to bump up a little bit more. It's got a lot of the premium features, including offline maps. It's got you can import GPX files on this. It's got the body composition measurements. It's got a thermometer. It's got a great, vibrant, large, bright 1.5-inch AMOLED display here, which is great. It's got the AI coach on here. It's got the PAI index. You can make and take phone calls with this thing. The only limitations, the cons, is, we went through in the video, the front screen is just tempered glass, so you got to be a little careful. Maybe put a screen protector on there. And then the other thing is, the other con, I mean, like I said, there's not many cons on this, but the only other thing is with the text messaging, you can't get a keyboard on here and you can't respond with unique text. You can only have your pre-made text. But those are the only two cons I could really come up with on this. I think this is a great watch and a great watch for the price. If you got this watch or you were thinking about getting this watch and you decided to get a different one, please let me know what your decision was in the comments and why you did that. So if you made it this far, thank you for putting up with me this whole time. I hope this was helpful for you and gave you some good facts. And if you watched it this far, maybe consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. Liking the video, that really helps me with YouTube and pushing us out to other people. Maybe put some nice thoughts in the comments. I appreciate it. Or give me some feedback in the comments about what you think about the watch, or maybe what you thought about the video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.